Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here. And the other day I was tagged by GoWild Outdoors to do a video on if you could only take one tool into the woods to survive, what would it be? So, I've thought long and hard about it, and I want you to stay tuned for the answer. Alright, so let's get into this. Once he asked me the question, and I've heard, a lot of people have proposed this to each other in forums and everything else here on YouTube. And people are pretty consistent, I would say, for what the one thing they would take into the woods and what it would be. But I wanted to think hard about it and think more in depth as opposed to just going with my knee-jerk reaction. So I kind of went over the main 10 C's of survivability, and I was trying to think, okay, what could I make in the woods? What could I reproduce? What could I improvise while I was there? That kind of thing. And the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I felt like my choice was still the only real choice to make. And that, my friends, is a knife. Now this is a knife that I reviewed a long time ago. This is one of the first knife reviews I've ever done. And so I'm pretty sure even most of my subscribers haven't even seen it. But, as you can see, it's quite a large knife. And it is the Mykel Hawke Hellion 2020, made by Tops. Now this is a knife, it's not being produced any longer. It is possible you may be able to find it on eBay or other sites like that where people are selling their stuff that is used. But I didn't want to just say I was going to take a knife. I wanted to be very specific about which knife I wanted. And this one, hands down, is it. Why, you ask? Well, this is, in my opinion, one of the best one-tool options that you could possibly come up with. I know people have criticized it in the past, saying this may be an over-engineered blade and all this kind of stuff, but 3 years I've had this thing, and this thing is built like a tank. So much so that I probably need to do another review of it, since my first one, the review was not outstanding. I'll just go ahead and admit it's one of the first ones I ever did. The demo really did show a lot of capabilities of this knife, but I'll just run down real quick as to why I chose this one. One, 9-inch blade, right? That's going to take care of almost any need you need for a blade in the woods. This is just shy of a machete, right? You've got this 17-degree angle here to help with chopping, and I tell you what, this thing chops like a demon, right? This thing chops like a small axe almost. I mean, the material, the wood that flies off of a log when you start hacking into it is ridiculous. It batons, it splits nothing. I mean, I could take 2x4s that are about 3 feet long and then just with one fell swoop slice that thing in half. It has a saw in the back. Now I've used this many times, but not to like saw off limbs or anything like that, but to do notching, and it does really well at that. Tanto tipped, so you can even get 2 directional cutting. Backup blade, which kind of, in my opinion, was unnecessary, but it's there, so you still have a choice. But every time you baton with it, if you're hitting here, you're just dulling it out like you would any other blade. But that still is another cutting option. 3/16 of an inch thick, made out of 5160, which is one of my favorite steels. I mean, it is ridiculously tough. Linen micarta scales with a divot to do a bow drill if you wanted to or needed to. Hammer, spike, and of course when Mykel Hawke created this thing, this was in case you needed to like poke a hole in an ostrich egg, like if you were trapped in Africa or something. But this could be used for non-lethal, well, I don't know, you hit somebody with that, that's kind of lethal. But it still has a lot of uses. This side, it's really hard, in steel, so you can use this to shape metal if you needed to form it into different types of things. Deep choil here with blade guards. 2 lanyard hole here, so you could lash this and make it into a spear if you needed to. I mean, this thing really, it covers everything. I mean, even detailed carving. The only downfall this thing has is its weight. I mean, I think it was like 17 ounces. So doing a lot of cutting tasks for a long period of time, I mean, unless your hands just really have a lot of strength, this will cause some fatigue because it does get heavy. But I'm telling you, if I'm stuck and I can only take one thing, it's not just a knife, it's this knife, right? And the sheath, MOLLE compatible, hopefully you can tell. So I typically, what I do is lash it to a pack, and forever, even when I was out testing, reviewing other knives, this knife went with me. This was attached to the pack in case the knives I were taking out failed. I still had this one in reserve. You got 2 pockets in here. I mean, you could make them into anything you wanted, any kind of little survival kits or anything like that. But I just have a magnesium fire steel from the Friendly Swede. I won that right when a pack of those from Budget Bug Out, right when I first started doing YouTube. And he was fairly new at the time too. Even won that survival bracelet that you always see. That's how long I've been wearing it, or had it. I also have, and this always comes with the Tops knives, but the Tops whistle, right, for a little emergency whistle. And I know you'll hear me talk about it so much, but Triox-A. I carry a bar of that in there as well. You could set this up any way you wanted to. The only downside to the sheath, and everybody says it that gets the Top knives, and I agree 100%, is 2 things. One, you got Velcro here for the straps, for the retention straps. Should be a button, you know, but hey, what do you do? And you got hard plastic in there. It could be molded a lot better to fit the knife better, because if I shake this upside down, even with these straps Velcroed, it will fall out, right? So that's my only, and I could fix that. I don't know why I never have. I could. You could even fold this down, because your belt loop is here. You could even fold this down like this. You still got your 1 retention strap, but this way you make it a little shorter if you wanted to. Cord on the bottom of the sheath in order to, you know, strap it to your leg if you needed to, or just for extra cordage. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if I can only take one tool, it's going to be the Mykel Hawke Hellion 2020. If you can find one, I highly encourage you getting one. It's unbelievable. There's even a smaller version called the Elite. I think it's a 5-inch blade, but this one, oh boy, I tell you, it's my favorite. Okay, so I'm going to tag 2 more people, and since he's international, GoWild Outdoors is from Brazil, he tagged myself, but he also tagged somebody else in England. I have 2 guys that I've been really talking with a lot, commenting a lot on each other's videos, but EDC Holland and Coolerking. Actually, I'm going to tag a 3rd, Joel from Great Outdoors Adventures. I want to know what all 3 of you, if you could take one thing, what's it going to be, guys? Can't wait to see your answers. All right, guys, in the meantime, be prepared and have fun.